This is the second video for Virgo, being the 6th house of natural zodiac. I've already done a video. I'm going to upload that. But also, it probably will be good if you could also have a look at my Virgo ascendant, which is, it should be in the library on Patreon. So it's really, but I'm just going to read this as a kind of like blank chart. So because you don't really necessarily, you can tell so much about, once you know that somebody's ascendant, you can read it with ease. You know that obviously, when you have planets in their aspect in signs and influence in the signs makes a difference. But generally speaking, you can see so much about the what the person will go through just by looking at their blank charts. So I'm gonna make a start now, so you can just see. Okay, so basically, as Mercury is Virgo is very important sign to Mercury because it owns it. It's more Dracona sign, exaltation sign, so it's very important. And Virgo is very much focused about self. It's a list making sign, and he wants to tick everything off it and do everything to the best. They're very, very dedicated to their work, particularly because first house ruler rules the 10th house. So it is a dual Rashi, so it's obviously quite flexible in a sense. It's able to do many things in one go, and they can see different sides to any kind of situation and actually use discernment to actually tackle anything like that. These are information analysts of the because whereas their 10th house, which is Gemini, and the other house that's ruled by Mercury, but these people are very analytical about information. This is a more serious sign for it's more grounded because it's Earth sign. Gemini can be a little bit more gossipy, a bit more lighter. This is much more deep and quite serious comparing to the other sign. So let's have a look at what sort of things can be seen. So obviously the first house is situated between the Sun, Leo and Venus. And so this is always really telling to actually have a look and see what's going on with them. So the first house has got the Jupiter aspect in it, blessing the house. So that's pretty good. But it's also the house that is debilitated in. So that's always worth getting to know as well. And so in terms of things happening to the first house, it's kind of knowledgeable. It's knowledge and information combined together. Generally speaking, Mercury can be quite shortish in shape anyway because of Mercury. Just it's the youngest of all the planets, so it's the immature, it's a child, adolescent. So the second house is ruled by Venus and is aspected by Mars, so Aries, and also aspected from Capricorn by Saturn. So these people, because it's got like two malefics aspecting the second house, they can be a little bit economical with the truth. And also second house is family, so there can be some amount of unhappiness when it comes to family as such. And also it is hemmed between Mercury sign Virgo and also Mars, so there can be some issues to do with things to do with the second house of family, and but they're quite good at actually. They might not actually inherit family money, but they're very good at making money anyway, so they can create their own wealth. And then we have their third house, which is actually Scorpio for them. So their siblings or their friends can be their secret enemies as well, because it's the natural 8th house of the zodiac, and they could lose friends because basically they're not very good at communicating, or they have a very abrupt communication style as such, if you like. So, and but they will be very brave, because by the sheer fact that Mars rules their third house, and they can endure any hardship really. But they will be a little bit vengeful, because of Scorpio really, because Mars Scorpio, it will stab you in the back. It's not like Mars in Aries that will like come and just punch you on. It will just be a little bit more calculating. And but they because of the two planets, Mercury and Mars don't get on. They're not able to actually fulfill their desires as easily, but they will become brave and willful and succeed in other ways. And then their fourth house is ruled by Jupiter, and is sat between Mars and also their Capricorn. So their fourth house is hemmed. But it is also aspected by Mercury from Gemini. So this means that basically they could have, their mother could have some health issues, for one thing. You could really see that. But she will be intelligent, and things like that, and they could also have some issues with their property, where there'd be like niggly things going on, because the fact that it's hemmed too. But they would generally have a good education, because planet of education, third house of education and learning, is aspect in fourth house, and once they've gone through all the difficult planets, the malefic planets, dashas, then they actually start gaining more and more money and wealth in life. Their fifth house is Capricorn, and is obviously aspected by the moon, and Capricorn is obviously sitting between Jupiter sign and Saturn's other sign, which is the Multracona sign. So they're very intelligent, but they're slightly contrary, just because of the nature of Saturn. So they're just like a little bit like different in their sort of nature, basically. Moon obviously aspecting the sign too. It just means Moon can be fickle, so but there are actually no malefic aspects, just the Moon, so it possesses some past life luck as well in that sense. And their sixth house is ruled by Saturn. It's also the Multracona, and it's aspected by Mars and also by the Sun. So sitting between Saturn and Jupiter sign, it means that if they were to be to have like debts and health issues, they're able to manage both really well and very intelligently. Their seventh house, as we spoke about earlier, is aspected by Mercury, and it's the sign of the first ruler's debilitation sign. So it is a little bit difficult for them, just being in relationship. It's just a bit awkward for them. They're too self-aware and not too practical for relationships. So it's something that gets better with time. So they're just too much into things that are tangible. If they can't feel it, it doesn't exist to them. So it's a little bit like that kind of thing that needs to get sorted, really. And their eighth house is Aries. So, and it's also aspected by Venus, Saturn and Jupiter. So it's also benefically hemmed. So it just means that they have longevity, and they can overcome chronic disease if they ever were to get that. And they're blessed also if they're going to any accident or anything like that. Their ninth house, and also it will protect their inheritance too, in a sense. But we come to that, it would be like more, I wouldn't say maybe family ones, because of the Venus situation being debilitated in the first house. But anyway, let's do ninth house. So ninth house is Taurus, and is between Aries and Gemini, so Mercury and Mars, and it's aspected by Mars, and so which is a destructive, very bad planet for Virgo ascendant. And so it just means that there could be issues with the father, the ninth house, and also Venus rules the ninth house and it's not friendly with the sun. So there could be problems with the parental property as well. So so there could be a little bit, or it could either they don't receive any inheritance from the father, or the father could have health issues, or could be absent, working away, or maybe a father was basically absent. 10th house is ruled by Mercury and is hemmed between Venus and Moon sign. So it's benefically hemmed and aspected by Jupiter and also Mars. So it just means that they're very successful in their career and multi-talented. Particularly Mars is obviously Jupiter blesses the 10th house, but also Mars aspect on the 10th house is really good. Gives status and ability to deal with all the things to do with the 10th house. 11th house is ruled by the moon and sits between Mercury and Sun signs, and aspected by Saturn and Mars. So this is an Upachaya house, so having like all these malefic things on it just means that things will get better for them in terms of gains, and they are able to earn good money because of that as well. 12th house is Leo and is between two benefic houses. So we got Moon and Virgo. So the quality of sleep could be good, but Saturn also aspects it, which can give issues. And they basically Saturn is a bit frugal, a bit tight with money, really. So it just means that they don't really spend money so well, or if they do, they always worry about it. It gives them health, sleep issues. So these are things that they need to overcome, really. So this was a little bit about how I see Virgo. And thank you for watching. And I have put actually let's just go through that as well. So some of the keywords that I put down, they're sort of clean and practical and calculating and measuring, critical. They can suffer from OCD. It's the feminine adolescent sign. It's quite pure, it's grounded. Autumn, harvest, intellect and healing, sacrifice, strength, purification, digestion, fasting, nutrition, organization, precision, disease, habit, discipline, rules, list making, and obstacle. Should have really put divorce there as well, because 6th house is also divorce. So, but that's about it. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you soon. Thank you.